Good morning, televiewers. It's the press today in your Pan-African television, AFRIQUE Media. Our first stop will be in Zambia. We'll be looking at the Post newspaper. The Post Zambia writes that more by-elections are anticipated after 4 opposition MMD members of parliament plan to join the ruling PF. MMD National Secretary March Richard Katungwe on Sunday said the party had received reliable information that some 4 MMD members wanted to join the PF. He said MMD members of parliament serving as deputy minister had been caused by PF to resign from MMD, causing unnecessarily and costly by-elections. The paper also writes that examination malpractices have the potential to erode the education standard of Zambia. The statement was made by Zambia Education Coalition Vice Board Chairperson Hilary Chipangu. Chibangu said examination leakages had the potential to make learners not genuinely qualified to proceed to the next level of education. In South Africa, we're looking at Business Day South Africa. The paper reports that shareholders have authorized Landman to issue $817 million worth of shares. However, they demand the board to address concerns about the way the world's third largest platinum miner is being managed or face changes being forced upon it. Shareholders are unhappy with Landman's second heavily discounted rights issues. The paper against writes that the African National Congress ANC may have to fire some of its local government councillors after a high-level probe discovered manipulation and fraud in the processes that nominated them. Also, read on interesting stories on Business Day South Africa like no confidence motion in Zuma lands up in court, shareholders cannot set strategy telecom boss, and many others. Still in South Africa, we'll be looking at Daily Dispatch. According to the newspaper, ambulance services in the Eastern Cape have shut down and are expected to stay closed for weeks as hundreds of paramedics and emergency personnel embarked on an illegal strike. Their action has left thousands of patients stranded. In another development, the ANC in Parliament had not refused to discuss a motion of no confidence in President Jacob Zuma. According to reports, the party's decision was that there was no urgency in the matter. The paper also writes that the Eastern Cape ANC Provincial Executive Committee will meet within a week to discuss a top-level national report that accuses it of manipulating and abusing the party's nomination processes ahead of last year's local government elections. Looking at China Daily, the paper writes that China and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations have the wisdom and capability to handle disputes over territorial claims and maritime rights. Prime Minister Wen Jiabao made the statement during the 15th China-ASEAN Summit on Monday. Both parties pledged in a joint statement issued to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea to exercise self-restraint in any activity that might escalate tension. Still in the paper, the company that played a key role in equipping China's first aircraft carrier is ready to build more seagoing air bases. Chairman of China's State Shipbuilding Corporation, Hu Weiming, said China is the only one of the 4 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council not to have had aircraft wholly developed by itself. Still in Asia, we'll be looking at the Wall Street Journal. According to the journal, in a sign of how the Bozalai affair has shaped the thinking of China's rulers, the incoming Communist Party leadership appointed a new domestic security chief but downgraded the position. The move could strengthen the role of law after a decade in which the security forces amassed vast new powers and resources, and party insiders say it is a direct consequence of the scandal surrounding Mr. Wu. The paper against writes that U.S. President Barack Obama laid out a sweeping vision for Myanmar of an American-style democracy where the military takes orders from civilians and human rights are respected. Read on the Wall Street Journal Asia for more details. Taking you to the United Arab Emirates, we'll be looking at the Gulf newspaper. The paper reports that as the death toll in Israeli bombardment of Gaza Strip crossed 100, an Arab League team is due in the enclave on a solidarity visit on Tuesday amid a diplomatic flurry to stop the killing of civilians in Palestine. Foreign Minister Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Al-Nahyan called on the international community to act seriously and give up double standards towards the Palestinian issue and stop the carnage. The paper again writes that there is still no federal ban on flammable building cladding despite its suspected role in fueling high-rise fire. Read on Gulf newspaper for better understanding. Our last paper will be the Wall Street Journal Europe. In the paper, it's written Intel Corporation said Paul Otellini decided to step down as chief executive in May, a surprise development that breaks from company tradition and triggers a search for a successor. The Silicon Valley company, the world's largest semiconductor maker by revenue, typically signals its succession plans far in advance. In another instance, the paper states that the leader of Hamas refused to stop rocket attacks on Israel on Monday, and Israeli forces stepped up their bombardment of Hamas targets in the Gaza Strip as the death toll from nearly a week of Israeli strikes in the territory reached 100. Read on the Wall Street Journal Europe for better understanding. That was the package we had for you, but just stay on AFRIQUE Media for more information.